Sadly, seeing a missing persons flyer on social media or even on power poles or a Walmart missing board has become pretty much normal to any American. According to NamUs, over 600,000 people go missing each year in the United States, ranging from young children to older individuals. Most people look at the missing poster for a second, then continue on with their day. Only a small percentage of people will actually research the missing person to see where they are from and what the circumstance was that led to their disappearance. Unfortunately, the public have been desensitized because of the overwhelming amount of missing people. This makes it hard for families to receive help finding their missing loved one. The same mentality can also be found in law enforcement and other public and private services. It seems once a missing person is reported missing, they are put into an unwritten and unspoken category of importance. Age, sex, wealth, social status, location, criminal record, and the situation itself are a few examples of the unspoken rule when categorizing a missing person. People fail to realize every missing person is someone's child or loved one. Every missing person deserves to be recognized and located, even if they left on their own accord, because they have family left and friends worrying about them than thinking the worst. It seems when the media releases information on a missing person, they are creating a profile of who the missing person is and how the public is going to characterize that person. Once the public sees that the missing person is a 27-year-old man that has a problem with addiction, they form an opinion and never give that person a second thought, even though their parents' life has abruptly stopped. Their world is shattered. They know the real person behind the addiction and loves them unconditionally. George and Amanda Weeks, like other parents, knows the struggle all too well. This is Jacob's story through the eyes of strangers. Jacob grew up a typical little boy, dividing his time between his mother's home and his father's home. He's the oldest of 5 children. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters that he grew up with and was close to them up to the day of his disappearance. He loved playing ball and skateboarding and was your typical all-American boy. When he was a teenager, he started working with his dad, and after a few years decided to learn other trades and became a very good welder. He also enjoyed working in construction, and that was his job of choice at the time of his disappearance. Jacob did start experimenting with drugs like many young people do. It wasn't until he was introduced to methamphetamine that things started getting a little out of control, and the side effects like hallucinations started becoming visible to his parents. And of course, his choice of friends changed as well. Jacob had been in a long-term relationship and living with a young lady for some time in the Bailey, Colorado area, a small mountain town where he also frequently worked. Their relationship started to fail, and in December of 2018, Jacob moved out and started staying with his maternal grandmother and uncle, which is 5 years younger than Jacob. On Friday, February 1st, 2019, Jacob picked up his uncle after work, and the two decided to go riding around in Jacob's white Dodge Ram. They both were drinking, and this is where things started to go wrong. Jacob's uncle reached over and was going to take a drink of Jacob's beer, which did not go over very well with Jacob. Jacob pulled over and made his uncle get out of the truck. After Jacob pulled off, his uncle started walking, and it wasn't long before the police seen him and picked him up and took him to jail to sober up. The following morning, his uncle called Jacob's brother and asked him to come pick him up, in which he did, but when he told the family of the events that happened the night before, they automatically started trying to call Jacob to find out what happened. Unfortunately, Jacob never answered. His family tried to get in touch with him all weekend to no avail. On Monday, February 4th, the family filed a missing persons report in Jacob's behalf. It wasn't until later on that week the family was told he had been in a wreck on Highway 285 near Indian Hill in Tiny Town. It was stated he was speeding in his white Dodge Ram coming off the mountain when his truck hit the inside guardrail. After coming to a stop and facing the opposite direction he was traveling, a witness reported seeing someone that resembled Jacob getting out of the vehicle, lit a cigarette, and walked across the road and disappeared into the mountains. The person that got out of the truck was wearing a hoodie with the hood pulled over his head. According to the police, no blood was found in the truck. Jacob's wallet, 2 cell phones, clothes, the cell phone SIM cards was not in the phone, but was in the truck. Also, drug paraphernalia was found. When the State Patrol was on scene, they did a small search of the area, but they could not locate Jacob. There was no blood, no signs, or any kind of clues to what happened to him. The police speculated that they thought he made it down the mountain by foot, but there is no proof of that. There's no proof the driver driving the truck that morning was ever Jacob, but according to the witness, he did match Jacob's description. His truck is impounded, and the family has not been allowed to see the truck due to the truck being registered in Jacob's name, but the phones were released to Jacob's mother because they were on her phone plan. After going through the phones and calling the people he last contacted before his disappearance, there still was no answers to what happened to Jacob. No one has stepped up to fill in the missing information the family thinks is vital to finding him. The family stated that they were told it appears a mechanical problem with a tie rod caused Jacob's truck to crash. Where was he coming from, and where was he going? Where did he go after he left his uncle on the side of the road? The uncle has been questioned several times by the family about the night, but he has no idea where he went after he left him on the side of the road. The ex-girlfriend offered no explanations or opinions on what happened to him or where he could be. She has since moved on with her life without Jacob. The family was hoping he would contact them after a few days, but it's been 1 year, 10 months, and a week without anyone having any contact with him. None of his social media has been active. Nothing. He simply disappeared. There was a blizzard that moved in the area a few days after the wreck. There have only been a few searches since Jacob's disappearance. At this point, no one knows where Jacob's at. A tip did come in saying Jacob was seen walking near an RTD park and ride and then toward the Mount Lindo Cemetery. Jacob's family needs help in locating their son. Drone operators and/or search teams would be greatly appreciated. But what they don't need at this point is people using their son's name to make a name or money for themselves. What happened to Jacob Paddock-Weeks? Did someone pick him up and cause him harm? Did he walk deeper into the mountains due to the methamphetamine hallucinations? Did he suffer a head injury and is out there somewhere after being picked up? Or did the elements take Jacob? At this point, no one knows. Jacob left behind his ID, cell phone, and wallet. His family searched the area where a tip came in, but found absolutely nothing. Jacob Paddock-Weeks is 5'11" and weighs 150 pounds. His hair is strawberry blonde, and he has blue eyes. If anyone has any information about Jacob's whereabouts, please call the Morrison, Colorado Police Department at 303-697-4810. The administrators of the Missing Truth are sending Jacob and his family prayers and peaceful energy on their journey to finding their son. For further updates on Jacob's case, subscribe to the Missing Truth to receive notifications. Like us and leave us a comment. Like us on our Facebook page and join us in our private Facebook group. If you have a family member or a friend and feel the case needs more exposure, you can contact the Missing Truth by email or message us on our private Facebook group or page. Always remember, some sort of truth remains in a lie. Have a good night.